Recording in progress. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So, in our previous class, we discussed about what's new in TypeScript classes. So, TypeScript object-oriented programming, we learned about one about contracts. Contracts are we call them as what? Interface. Another one, classes. Classes. So we learned about static and non-static members and access modifiers. These two are the new topics that you need to know while working with the class. So rest of class concepts are same, like inheritance, polymorphism. Already you learned in JavaScript how aggregation works, inheritance works. Even in React also we discussed about that. So now here additionally one more thing you need to know is uh, implementing, we can say as implementing contracts, implementing contracts. Actually, whenever you design a class, so class can be absolute type, it can be absolute type or relative. A relative class always implements a contract, always implement a contract. So usually class can be absolute type or relative. Absolute type classes are independent. They are not having any specific rules. That means absolute classes don't have any rule. There is no category like absolute class, just we use those terms in development. That means, so this class doesn't have any rule. They don't follow any rule. They don't implement any rule. They are individually designed. So relative classes, they follow the rules. According to the rules, we have to design them. According to the rules, we need to configure them. So how a class can use a contract? So simple point here is, so syntactically, when a class you designed, so the component can implement a contract, can implement contract. Contract means what? Interface. It can implement an interface. So class have 2 points actually. So class component can extend another component. So super component. What is difference between extend and implement? Implements. So implements and extends. So the implementation is about rules, extension is about functionality. So the rules are implemented and the functionality is extended. Functionality is extended means already there is certain functionality we can extend. Class have 2 basic things, it can implement and it can extend. So a class can implement a contract, and if it implements a contract, you must design according to that contract. And after implementing contract, you can add additional features by extending the class. So that means if you want to extend, you cannot write implement and extend together. You cannot implement and extend at one time. First it should implement and then it should extend. If you want, you can feature. So implements is about following the rules, and the extends is about extending the functionality. Implements is about following the rules and extends is about extending the functionality. So we can configure in two ways. Right. So let's see one concept here is so for example, now we need to define, yeah. So here we are creating a contract. So interface I product is a contract. In that we have name string, so price number, and some quantity, some number like this we have. Total is a method which should return number. We have a print which is a method, it should be void. These are the rules. And now we are creating a class product, and this product can implements, it implements the product contract. If it is implementing the contract, then it should follow all the rules of that contract. That means now class is showing error because according to the contract, you have to design the class. That means all the members, suppose we need here public, so name, so it is a string type. So it is a string type and some value. And here you don't need to mention the type. Already its type is configured. You try to store some number, it will not allow. So because its type is defined in the contract, you have to configure that. So no need of example, just it's a concept of implementing the rule. So a class can implement a contract. Here the point is according to the contract we have to design. So public price is equal to some price. Public quantity is equal to some quantity. So public, so total is a function which should return a number, this dot quantity into this dot price. And for example, here we have a print. Print is a function, it should print. Suppose additionally, we are configuring some public, so stock is boolean true or false. Now you can see that it is not showing any error. Why it is so? According to the contract, you saw when we implemented a contract, you saw that when we implemented the contract, if any member is missing, it shows missing. And if any member extra added, then it is showing that this is not a member of contract. Then why here it is not showing that stock is not a member of contract? But if I miss the required one, like quantity I haven't mentioned, then it shows error. It says that quantity is missing. But I added extra, that is stock, which is not a member of this interface, but it is taking. Why? Because the nature of a class is it will implement the contract. Then whatever you defined in the contract are mandatory. At the same time, a class supports extensibility also, implementation and extensibility. If a class supports extensibility in that class, you can add new features along with the existing features. That means it allows you to add new features, extend. Along with implementation, it allows you to extend. Class default have the nature of extensibility. If default it is having extensibility, that means you can add one new member. You can add one new feature into this. You don't need any extents like option. You can by default add one new feature and use that feature. So here one important point is class supports extensibility by default. Class supports extensibility by default. It can implement a contract and also extend the contract features. And also can extend the contract features. Why this is possible? Because class is also used as a type and it can have its own type. It can implement a type and it can have its own type. So in that case, you can implement the contract and you can add new features also. Now, the class related behavior. So one more point about class is a class can implement multiple contracts. Multiple contracts. Suppose if there is a contract called I interface, I category is another contract which have a category name. Category name that is string type. Now the class can implement multiple contracts. It can have I category. So in that case, you can define that new member here, public category name and is equal to some electronics. Like this, we can configure. A class can implement multiple contracts, right? Now, here some tricky points are there. One more concept here is class can implement multiple contracts. It can implement multiple contracts. Class and class name implements contract 1, contract 2, like this. A class can implement multiple contracts. You can implement multiple contracts. So if we have to configure a class with certain rules to follow, but extend the rules, certain rules to follow, but extend the rules. In that case, we can implement the contracts and we can configure the contracts, right? And you can implement multiple contracts also. That is possible. Now here, another concept is, I will copy this example just roughly to understand the point. These are not functional programs. These you will use in React. Just you need to know the rules, basically how they are designed. Now, how we design a class, how a class can implement the contracts. Class inheritance is same, polymorphism is same. No need to explain that. Those basic rules are same. Already we learned those points. One more new thing about class here you need to know is about templates. Templates in object-oriented programming. Contracts, components, and templates. Contract means interfaces. Components means classes. Classes are officially, we call them as component. And what are these templates? What is the nature of template and where we use these templates? So the concept of template, how we use the templates, right? Actually, the template concept is generally why we need a template, how to design a template. There are two situations actually. So we have two situations for a template. Actually, we have two situations for a template. So what are the situations? For example, see, generally when you are developing an application, so we are developing one application. Suppose this is a bank application. This is a bank application. Suppose this is some ICICI bank application. This application is built by some Wipro. Wipro is building an application for this bank. Now, in this application, there are so many modules. That means it will have personal banking, so some NRI banking, some loans, some credit cards, like this. So many type of modules are present. In those modules, bank have lot of data, sensitive data like credit card passwords, IDs, and everything they have to have. Now, will they give that complete data to this Wipro? If not, how they build that app? If it is not providing the data, then how they will build that module, and how bank can give that sensitive data to that company. Now, how this is handled? Even several government projects are managed by private companies, and government will not give all the sensitive data of citizens to private companies. Then how they build the app, how they build these modules? Question understood? That is a valid point, right? So that means now how they do this, how they handle this situation. Actually, for that, what happens is, now in this, one module is very sensitive, like credit cards. This is very sensitive. Then what this ICICI Bank asks the Wipro is, they will ask Wipro to build a template for that module. So credit card module related template, they ask to design a template for that. They ask to design a template for that. This template usually comprises of, this template comprises of, so functionality, and functionality have two mechanisms. One is few implemented, and few so need to be implemented. That means not implemented, few implemented, few not implemented. Means some of them designed completely, some of them pending. And they will give that template. They will give the template to this bank people. The template is designed and it is given to the bank people. Now, bank will have, do you know, these bank people have their dedicated developers are present. That means ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank, like this. These people have a team of software developers. That is very rare actually. Means rare means recruitment. That means they don't recruit, means regularly placements will not be there. Very rare. They hire software developers. Officially, bank people hire software developers, artificial intelligence developers, cloud technology developers. They hire them. But it is very rare. Why? Because in Naukri sites also, very rarely you may find such jobs. Because minimum they ask, that means for such developers, minimum 10 plus years experience. Minimum 10, 14 years experience people only they hire. And it is a small team. For complete India business, there will be only 3 or 4 people, developers. These kind of jobs very rare. That means I will, let's try. Means we may not get that every time, but if we are lucky, we can see. For example, we say ICICI Bank. Suppose I am looking for a Java developer. Java developer. I'm just searching so that I can get software related some requirements. Majority you will see bank jobs, means bank relationship manager, marketing manager. Very rarely, let's observe here, you will find the financial services. This is ICICI Bank. And these are MNC business manager. We will look for a bank related software people here. These are not bank related software people. These are all bank jobs. Huh? These are all bank jobs. In bank itself, application developer, Java developer, bank. So here we have a rare one. Okay. It is going into the jobs of this one. ICICI. HDFC. These are bank operations only. You will see somewhere a software. I told you already, these are very rarely posted job opportunities. Let me change my search as suppose uh, cloud developer ICICI Bank. These are MNC in banking. These are banking related. Okay, you check. So because these are not regular, very rarely they will get. Huh, this is see. These are all relationship manager, wholesale, global solutions. Okay, you can see some Dutch bank developer they need. This is some another bank and they need a developer. And see Unix, DevOps, like technologies they need. And see the experience minimum 10 to 12 years experience. Why a bank need a developer? That means will he develop an app for them? That means here you can see another one, senior data engineer, Lloyd's Technology. It's a Lloyd's bank. That means why banks are looking for developers. That means why the banks are looking for developers. That means why they need developers. That means these developers will build an app for them. These will not build an app for them. Then why they are looking for developers and see minimum 10, 12 years experience. And do you know actually ICICI, HDFC, these people minimum 10 to 15, 16 years experience. Their package starts with 50 lakh per annum, 60 lakh per annum. And they are a part of bank. They are like bank employee. And what is their job? What is their responsibility is? Their responsibility is to implement these modules and incorporate into the application. That means whatever the templates provided by the company. And important, now can this developer modify that template? Can he add some new features into this template? Can this developer who is specially appointed for implementing the template, can he modify the template, change? No, he cannot modify the template. He can just implement. And the modification is done by that company only, Wipro. That means if any modification need to be done to by that in the template, they will request that they modify and send the template again and you just implement. That means complete structure of the template is hidden and only functionality is given. That means the structure is completely hidden and only the functionality is provided, which you have to implement. The process of hiding the structure and providing only functionality is called abstraction. We call that mechanism as abstraction. Many people have a wrong idea about it. When you ask what is abstraction for general loop learner, they talk about data hiding. When you ask what is abstraction, many people give an answer data hiding. It is not hiding the data, it is hiding the data structure. You are hiding the structure and providing only functionality. That means the person who is implementing, he can feel the structure and he can know the structure, but he cannot modify the structure or he cannot see the structure. The structure is hidden and only functionality is provided. This mechanism is called as abstraction and it is very popular in OOP, object oriented programming. One of the key feature of OOP is developing templates. Reusability, extensibility, they can achieve by using these templates. That is what OOP people call them as abstract classes. So if anyone asks what is the purpose of abstract classes? If anyone asks what is the purpose of abstract class, then what is the answer? They are used for designing templates. They are used for designing templates. Templates are created by using abstract classes. And abstract classes contains some features already implemented and some features need to be implemented. And the features which need to be implemented, those features are called abstract. That means those members are called abstract members. That means an abstract class contains non-abstract and abstract. Abstract means need to be implemented, non-abstract are already implemented. That means some functionality design, some is pending, which you design. You add the functionality. That is the nature of this concept. This is one application area. This is one concept. There is another use of it. That means I explained one situation. That means in one situation, abstract classes where they use. There is another situation. Another situation is actually in our software companies, we have projects. Generally, our software projects, we have implementation projects. We call this implementation as end-to-end projects. We have support projects, we have upgrade projects, and we have rollout projects. That means in software development, the project's nature will be four: implementation, support, upgrade, and rollouts. What is implementation means? We have to build one app for a business from the scratch. That means according to their requirements, everything we have to build one by one. That is end to end. Every software fresher job will be in end to end only. A fresher's job role always will be in what kind of project? Implementation. Implementation is end to end project. Okay. After you built it, you given to that client. Client is using it. While using, if he gets any technical issues, we have to resolve. That is called as what? Support. Support means already application is built, that is given to the client. He is using it. You don't need to build anything, but you have to support. If they want some changes, if they want some extra features, or if they want some, they are facing some issues, you have to resolve. These kind of projects are called as what? Support. Here we don't have a place for fresher. Freshers always will be in which row? Implementation. They are not in the support. This is for experience. Upgrade means we developed an application in one version, and after few days we need to change to new version, upgrade from one version to another. Generally in such projects, this kind of requirements also will come. So if suppose you are a React developer, then some company calls you and say that we need a React developer with knowledge of React 16 and React 18, both versions. And we have a contract of 3 months only. That means we have only 3 months contract or 4 months contract, or if it is very large, 6 months contract, maximum 3 months to 6 months. We have a 6 months contract as a React developer. Are you interested? You may be thinking like, in 6 months, what I will do? In 3 months, what I will do? Do I need to build an app in 3 months? No. Majority of such calls will be related to upgrade projects. Upgrade project means you have to migrate from one version to another. In that case, you must have knowledge of multiple versions. You should know what is in old, what is in new. They look such people. And once upgrade is finished, then you are out. They don't need you anymore because they already have their dedicated developers who are working on certain version. Only the point is your job will be for 3 months or 4 months and you work is finished. That is upgrade projects. Now, what is rollout project? Rollout project is nothing but, what is the concept of this rollout project is, rollout projects are technically, what happens is, suppose we have an example like some Reliance. So we have a Reliance. Reliance have a some gas. Reliance oil, Reliance gas, something like this. So Reliance oil is there. Now this business, they are already have this, they having this business in India. In India, they are already having this business, and for that we built an app. We built one application for their Indian business. Now this company is planning to expand their business to France. That means they are planning this business to France. That means Reliance. So they are planning the business to France. Then we have to build one application for France business. Now the point is, will you build another app for France business? Business is same, but the business rules, so terms and certain concepts will change. Rest of concept is same. Business is same, only according to the region it will change. Some changes will be there. So will the company develop another app for that? They will not do. Then what they do is, already for Indian business, they developed one app. What they do is they build a template for that. That means they build a template for that Indian business, what they have done, and that template they roll out in the France business. According to the France business, changes are made and it is given to them. That means according to that business, it is rolled out there. Actually, during this rollout, you know, in software companies, many people are sent on site. What is the purpose of going on site? You might have heard regularly this. Why people go on site? What is the meaning of that? Why a software engineer goes on site? What is the job? Why he is going on site? Why company sends a person on site? So several points are there. In that, one of the concept is rollout. So many are there. First point is why they are sent on site. For example, we have to work for France business. We need to build. In their France location, already their software engineers are present. We need to provide inputs to them, and we need to train them, and we need to explain everything to them so that they can use it. Now from India, we have to support. For example, now India timings and France timings are different. Then due to that, what happens? I can't make my all software engineers work only for that France time zones. It's not possible every time. Some companies do. They have to work for those business hours. But generally, what happens? It's a huge project. So much team has to work for that. Already they have a team in France. Now, only the point is they need one expert who can guide them, who already have an awareness on this complete project. Then what they do is they don't ask him to sit here and work during France hours. They will simply say that you go there, roll out it, explain them, train them, and come back. That means he is sent for 2 months, 3 months, sometimes 1 year also. And what is his job? From offshore, a team is supporting him, but onshore, he will be working with the client location. That means on site is nothing but client location working with client. At the client location, working with client. For what purpose you are at client location? You can work from offshore also. Why we have to go on site? Because of various reasons. And will entire team will go there? No, only a expert member of this project are sent there. That means one expert member in this project who already work for Indian business, he will be sent there. What he will do? He is responsible for rolling out that. That means now templates have two concepts. One, templates are used in rollouts, and templates are used in implementation of sensitive modules in application. Client implements their sensitive modules by themselves using what? Templates. And usually business will roll out in various locations using what? Templates. So abstraction is the mechanism of not giving the structure to them, only the functionality to them. Whenever any changes need to be made in the structure, they will change. This is the concept of abstraction. It's a very big point. So a template technically, a template provides predefined features which are implemented, and some features need to be implemented. Need to be implemented. A template hides the structure and gives only the functionality to implement. So the process of hiding structure and providing functionality is known as abstraction. That is called abstraction. Templates are used in implementation of sensitive modules for client and also in rollouts and also in rollouts. In OOP, templates are often known as abstract classes. They are all called as abstract classes. So here, an abstract class comprises of abstract members, abstract and non-abstract members. Members. So non-abstract are implemented with a functionality or configured with the data. Abstract members need to be implemented. So if any one member is abstract in class, then entire class must be marked as abstract. It must be marked as abstract. If any one member is abstract in class, then entire class must be marked as abstract. And you cannot create an instance for abstract class. Why you cannot create? Because it is incomplete. If a class is incomplete, you cannot create an object for an incomplete class. So you have to extend the class and implement the abstract members. That is the basic rule. You have to extend the class and implement abstract members. These are all the basic points. Right. So these are all basic points you should know. Syntactically, abstract class and some class name. So a property can be abstract, method can be abstract. Just that is the basic syntax. So one example we will see here means the basic order, how it works. That means at high level, how everything works is, for example, now we will configure like this. Let's create a simple interaction here. I'm creating a class as product contract, sorry, interface as product contract. Product contract is an interface. In this interface, we have members, name, string, price, number, like this we define. So quantity, number, and total is a method number, and a print is a method void. Now in this, some features we will implement and some we will leave for the clients to implement. Then we will create an abstract class and we call it as a product template. This template implements the contract. Now, according to the contract, public name is a string type. In that, we define some value. We can put some value or just initialize some empty string. Okay, another one is price. It is a number and it is initialized with some value. Public quantity is a number and it is initialized. And total and print are the methods which is not our job. How total is calculated and how they print, what they print, that they will decide. That means we need to leave these two for their implementation. For example, you see an EMI calculator. We designed the template for an EMI calculator, but what is the formula on calculate click, that they will decide. We are not sure. They have different formulas they will implement. We will leave that implementation of calculation to them. Rest of design we provided. Rest of certain functionality we provided. Only that calculate with a certain formula, we leave it to them. They will implement. So here public, so and abstract, and we define total as a method and it is a number. Why you left it as abstract? Because it is incomplete. Its functionality is not decided. We leave it for implementation. Abstract, what is it? Print. And it is void type and defined. Now implementation of these two are under the control of the client. He will implement it. So what we will do now, we will create a class. This class is a product component class. And this product component should extend the product template, extends product template. Why it is extending the product template? That means it will use all the features what it is having and it will add the functionality which is not completed. So that means now the class extends the abstract class. Now in this, you just remember, you are not implementing, you are just extending. But when you are extending also, when you mention name, that means when you are mentioning name and you just mention some number into this, it is not valid. Why it is not valid? Template is not a contract. Template is not a contract, but template is not a contract, but it have the rules for implementation. It is not a contract. Then, but what happens is it have a structure for every member. That structure you don't need to define here. Already structure is defined. Just you have to use according to the structure. Do I need to mention name as string? Not required. Already name is string. It is structure is defined. That means the structure not need to be used here. Just we have to implement it. We don't need to configure that name is a string because name is already a string. That means where the structure is defined, structure is in the template and we are just using that structure here. And name is equal to some name I am defining. That's fine. Price is equal to some price I am configuring. Quantity is equal to some quantity I am defining. And C, it is saying that two members product component is a non-abstract one and it must implement these two. What are those two? Total. Another one is what? Print. These two. So that means now you don't need to mention the structure for total. Is it public? Is it private? You don't need to mention. Just you mention total. And the total is a function. And you see the total function will return this dot quantity into this dot price. If you don't mention that, then it will say that total is a number type. And who is mentioning that it is a number type? The template. That means the structure is saying that it should be a number. That means you need to configure to return a number. And what you need to do here, we need to have another one is print. Print is an void type. And it is printing the details console.log and it is printing name and this dot name and price is this dot price. We are configuring like this and the quantity is this dot quantity and total is this dot total. All the definition is here. This is the hierarchy and you try to create an object for product template. It is not possible to do because it is an incomplete structure. You cannot create an object for that. So then we create an object for which one? Product component. And through that, we can access the print method and we can implement that. This is the hierarchy of designing the contents. And why abstract members are called templates? Technically, because they have some features already implemented and some features need to be implemented. And what is the nature of the template is hide the structure and give only functionality. Don't give the structure to modify. That means now later I will show you module system. In module system, we will import and export. That means we will keep everything in separate files, library. Then the person who is implementing, he can see only the class name. He can implement the class name. He cannot modify the structure. We just give the library of template. We will not give the library of its contracts. We will not give the library of its implementation. This is now actually run this. It is same cdsrc. Yeah. So tsc index.ts and node index.js. Index.js. It is same. Everything is working fine. Right. This is the hierarchy of designing any library. We have contracts. Contracts are implemented by templates and templates are extended by components. That is the order. That means usually the design order will be like this, the flow. So that means you have a library. Library comprises of what? Contracts. The contracts are implemented with templates and templates are defined in components. These components are used in your app. Application use these components. Application is built with the components and components are built with templates. Templates are designed according to the contracts. That is the hierarchy actually. Application is a component based. In React, Angular, everywhere it works with the same concept. In React or Angular, everywhere we call them component based. That means everything application is built with components. But the components, what is a component? Already it contains functionalities which are implemented through templates. So this is the basic nature. Example I will copy here is this one. I will copy this example. In this, actually, we are configuring this. I will show you at a higher hierarchy because you already learned modules. In JavaScript, you know module system, same point. In technical concept, in reality, I will show here. What actually happens is we will put a library. That means we will add a new component. This is library. In the library, we will have contracts. Okay. In the library, we have templates. And in the library, we have components. Components will be there. In templates, we will add a template that is product contract.ts. In this, we will put the product contract. Product contract is this one. That means it is kept here. And it need to be accessed outside. Then we mark it as what? Export. Already we know that. And next, this need to be in contracts. Okay. Okay. In contracts, I am moving it. Now let's go to the templates. In the templates, we need to create as what? Product template.ts. In the product template, so first, this is the template. In the product template, first we have to import. Import what? Product contract from the contracts. After that, we have to just implement this and mark this as what? Export. Template. It implements this contract. Now the next step, components. I will add a new product component. Product component.ts. Here we have to import the template. Product template we have to import. Then what we have to do is we have to create the component and put all these features here. That means this must be marked as what? Export. And finally, in your index page, in your app, you will have to import only one basic thing. What you have to import? The product component you have to import from library. And just you create an object for that component. And through that, you can just print. This is how your application looks like. Print. This is simple. That means your application looks like this. The structure is behind it. You are not configuring the structure. Structure is already built. You are just using that. Java people, .NET people, all these people learn building an application by using the classes which are ready-made built by the libraries. They build libraries, Java library, .NET library. By using those libraries, by adding more extra classes according to business requirements, they build an app. Some is already built, so we have to extend. Some we need to build according to the requirement. That means now our functionality is very simple. That means just you have to run this. It will work in the same way now. Actually, you observe here, so many files are there, TS files. Just run one file, TSC. What is it? Index.ts. I will compile this now, index.ts. You can see all the JS are compiled. That means all JS are compiled. Can you tell me what is the mechanism behind this? How the library is knowing what is behind it and how it is compiling them? What is the design pattern behind this? How the compiler knows what are linked to it and how it is loading them, compiling them, and generating a JavaScript file for them. What is the mechanism behind this? The mechanism behind this is dependency injection. The mechanism behind this is dependency injection. It is using dependency injection mechanism, locating the dependencies, injecting the dependencies, and loading the dependencies. And it is loading also. Now it is ready. That means node index.js. It will start working. That is the mechanism behind this. Means this is how at high level the complete application is built. I kept in one file just for your understanding sake, but everything is separate. All the contracts, all the components. So all the templates will be separate. That is the actual concept of OOP. Reusability, extensibility, maintainability, separation. All these can be achieved by using this concept. That means abstraction is a characteristic. Through abstraction characteristic, we can build templates, right? So polymorphism, inheritance, these are characteristics. Through those characteristics, we can make the code reusable and extendable. Reusability and extensibility are features of OOP. Inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, these are not features. These are characteristics of OOPs. Many people misunderstand this. When you ask what are OOP features, so OOP learners will start telling about polymorphism, inheritance, abstraction. They are not features. They are not OOP features. They are OOP characteristics. Because of those characteristics, these features will come. This is a big concept, right? Now, next important, you need to understand two more topics are there, generics and enums, how to handle them. That we'll see tomorrow. Then mostly tomorrow we will finish this. We have namespace module. Module already you know. We have another concept called namespace. With this, we will finish the TypeScript and we will go into building project with TypeScript, React application with TypeScript. That we'll see tomorrow. And this knowledge of TypeScript is enough even to learn Angular. That means what you learned in TypeScript here, this is enough for using TypeScript, any JavaScript based technology. Angular people also learn same, right? So this knowledge of TypeScript is enough for later. If you learn any Angular view, there also TypeScript will be same. That's why you should know detailedly about this. Generic enums module namespace. These we will see in tomorrow session. Okay, right.